Okay, here we have an example that says find an equation for each ellipse. And then we're going to graph the equation by hand, which actually graphing these things by hand is not bad at all. Since I'm going to be talking about an ellipse here, I'm going to go ahead and list out a place for a squared, b squared, c squared, and then a, b, and c. Very, very important to keep track of this bit of information. Okay? All right, so what they've given us to start with is that we have a center at 0, 0. So let's go ahead and plot that. We have a center here at 0, 0, which means that 0 is my h and 0 is my k, because that's the center. They've also told us that we have a focus at the point -1, 0. Okay, so -1, 0, this is a focus right here. All right. Because of symmetry, we're also going to have another focal point on the other side that's the exact same distance away from the center. That's the beauty of these ellipses, is because there is so much symmetry going on that you can use that. Now, the focus is a specific distance from the center. We call it a very special thing, and that would be that C distance. So that tells us that C in this case is 1, which makes C squared 1 also. And then just to make a little note, we graph that in the x direction. All right, now what else do we know? We have a vertex at 3, 0. So 3, 0 right here is a vertex. And when they just say vertex, they actually mean major vertex. So because of symmetry, if we have one at 3, 0, we also have to have another one at -3, 0. Well, the distance from the center to the vertex is something very special also. That's an A distance. So that tells us that A is 3, which means that A squared has to be 9. And again, that was graphed in the x direction. Now, the only thing we don't know here in this important stuff is the B value. But if you'll remember, we have a relationship that says A squared minus B squared equals C squared, which means that 9 minus B squared has to equal 1. And that means that B squared has to be 8. So if we know that B squared is 8, then that means B must be the square root of 8, which would simplify into 2 square roots of 2. Now this has to be in the opposite direction, so that would have to be the y direction. And 2 square roots of 2, or the square root of 8, however you want to look at it, is a little more than 2. So it would be up 2 and just a little more, and we'll go down 2 and just a little more. Now we can go ahead and we can draw in, our ellipse. And I know my drawing is not very good, and it almost looks like a circle, because if you think about it, we're going out 3 in one direction and 2 and a little more in the other direction. Not quite circular, but very close. Now we've drawn this in, all of the parts, but we have not found our equation yet. Because this is elongated in the x direction, it's going to follow the formula, that says x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. And we can put in all the things that we know. We know that h and k are both 0. We have listed out here that a squared is 9 and b squared is 8. So that makes our equation x squared over 9 plus y squared over 8 equals 1. And there's the equation of our ellipse.